Welcome to Microaces Workshop. My name's John, and this is the news for the 29th of August 2020. Let's start with some news. Firstly, always it's about these little receiver units here. I'd hoped that we would have caught up with the backlog that we had due to the pandemic, combined with some problems that we were having with these units. But alas, we haven't quite caught up yet, although it is going in the right direction. We've still got a number of outstanding orders on the board that are awaiting these little units. The last batch ran out at the end of last week. We've got more on the way. They should be with us towards the end of next week, and there are enough in the batch of the Futaba, the FR Sky, and the Spectrum modules to fulfill all of the outstanding orders that we have at the moment. The warranty replacements too. And also enough for a small amount of stock. Another order's already gone in, so hopefully that's being manufactured as I speak, or if they're in on Saturdays, I would imagine they are. So hopefully we will then get a continuous flow of these things. And so the flow of orders out will also improve. That's something that we're hoping to address anyway from our end with a little more organisation. I'll touch on that a little bit later. The good news is the reliability of these is going up. It's not perfect at the moment, so if you have any issues, get in touch. We'll see if we can sort them out via email. If not, then obviously the warranty covers these things. We can get replacement units out to you. And when returning them, you don't need to stick them in a box or anything like that. Just pop a little bit of bubble wrap around it and stick it in an envelope. It's a lot cheaper to get them back to us that way. So you're not saddled with that kind of expense. So that's not such bad news. It's not great news, but we're on to the manufacturers. We're communicating with them all the time. We're letting them know the sort of problems that are occurring at the moment, and I'll probably make a separate video on these units and how to look after them, maintenance, and all that good stuff, how to install them, etc. So that's the news on these little receivers. The not so good news is that of late deliveries have been rather slow in the US more than anywhere, and not, I don't think, because there's the printer going off in the background. We'll have to let that one go. Yeah, the problem's not being COVID, but a few issues with USPS that they're having internal issues, I believe. So the news goes. So apparently that's improving, though. We've had a few customers get in contact with us to say that stuff got there relatively quickly, within a week, or 10 days. So that's good. So hopefully an improving situation, but we'll keep monitoring it to see what happens. There have been a number of losses as well, certainly a lot more this year than we've seen in past years. But once again, those get replaced. That's on us, and the parts damaged get replaced. Lost postage, obviously, we resend too. So the price that the post office, the Royal Mail, are charging us now for sending standard parcels to the US has probably doubled, if not more. So What I'm thinking is that we'll probably scrap the standard postage, certainly to the US. I'm still thinking about it for the rest of the world, but what we'll do is the basic postage will actually be a tracked and signed for postage, which will once again help with reliability. It'll also help getting things there on time. That it's usually a little bit quicker, but I can't say for sure exactly how much quicker it is to get the parcels to you when it's a signed for package. It's certainly helped in locating products that have gone missing, because it can be pinpointed as to where things have gone missing, and I can contact the Royal Mail. We have a contact there, and then they can actually contact their partners overseas to further the investigation. And that's found a number of packages that have gone missing, and managed to get them to the destination, find them and get them to the destination. So I think that's what we'll be doing. So if you are in the US, and you see the £4.50 basic rate disappear, that's the reason why. I may put it up, but it looks like it would have to go up to something like £9, and it seems that seems too much to ask for such a simple service. So it would be better just to offer the enhanced service. And of course, you can buy up to 3 kits in that one service, in that one delivery package. So you can mitigate the expense by buying more, which obviously that's good for us, which is great. The other thing that we hope to do once we get on an even keel with receiver stock is that we'll be building up our stock. We've historically mainly built kits to order. Obviously, we hold some parts. Some are lasered, some have just been printed and need to be lasered. So there's all these steps along the production line that the parts exist in. What we're going to do is be a little more organized, because we're getting more orders now, which is fantastic. We need to have kits ready on the shelf that we can just drag off, pop in the boxes, and get out more quickly than we have been doing. So that's one of our aims over the next 3 or 4 months, is to get much more stock available, so that when an order is placed, we can get that order out the door within a few days, rather than what has been happening of late, where it's taken sometimes weeks or even months to get kits out, because obviously we've been missing parts, we've been missing electronics, we've split shipped stuff, so that's one thing we're aiming to do over the next few months, is to get a lot more organized, so we can get kits and products out to you much quicker, now that we don't have the problem of low or no stock of some of the components that we sell as well. So that's great. Also, with having the electronics in stock in the next month or so, I'm going to kick off the builder service. It started a while back with me asking whether people wanted to register to be builders for other people, and secondly, whether people wanted to register to have kits built for and on behalf of them, those that didn't feel confident enough to build them, or felt they didn't have the skills to build them, and would like somebody who knew what they were doing to actually build the kits for them. Now, we've got a number of people registered, but I haven't pushed forward with that, mainly because we couldn't reliably supply the builders with the electronics to complete the kits, and obviously that would cause bad feeling between the builders and ourselves, and obviously that being pushed by those that are having kits built for them, wondering what the hell's going on and whether we're able to supply or not. So now we're getting onto that even keel with having stock. We'll be able to push that. So I will hopefully be sending out fairly shortly, probably within the next 6 to 8 weeks, a newsletter to those that have registered to be builders, and send out a newsletter with some details of those people who are looking for kits to be built. It'll literally be a name and a location and an email address, so that you can get in contact with each other and discuss a proposal of how it happens. So that's hopefully going to be a great thing. And as I said, come October, we should be up and running with that. The other thing I wanted to talk about is what you're seeing now. I needed a way of producing videos a lot more quickly, so I can get more content to you. Obviously, it's the future, being able to communicate with people via video link, whether it's live or recorded. And I've produced videos for many years now, and the thing that really slows the whole process down, makes it very timely or time consuming to actually produce is the editing after you've actually shot the video, and I've always found this takes forever to do. So I've been looking at softwares that we can use to be able to put videos together quickly, without having to edit them, and get them out there as quick as well. Okay, probably not as professional looking or feeling as something that you can sit down and edit and choose what you see very quickly and thoughtfully. But I think more importantly, it's necessary to get the information out there, and it doesn't need to be presented by a beautiful young lady or a handsome young man with fabulous cuts to the shoreline and beautiful aircraft flying through the air. So you got me instead to actually lead you through hopefully things like the news that you're seeing now, workshop tips and build tips, and also the build videos that we want to produce, so we can actually go through certain kits and show you how to build them. And a lot of the techniques that are used in one kit are translatable to another kit. One kit might be a little more complicated or take longer to build, but within the Microaces range, we use the same materials and techniques for bringing the aircraft together. So I think being able to produce or film build videos and get them up there quickly would be fantastic, and hopefully further down the line we'll actually be able to do some live broadcasts as well, and get you on things like Facebook and YouTube, and get people watching live. It'll also obviously be recorded and be posted for forever and a day for you to watch at your leisure. But hopefully we'll be able to do things like that. I'm actually here using a package called OBS, and it allows you to do these little overlays live as you're videoing. You can also set out different scenes as well. You can connect to a number of different cameras. The camera I'm using here is just my standard web camera, and I've also got just over my shoulder, out of shot, I've actually got my mobile phone, which is plugged into the computer, and with the wonders of technology, we're able to do things like come down and look at the build board and I can actually put myself into. He said, "I've gone." Here we go. Back again. I don't know what went wrong there. Oh, don't know what went wrong there, but there we go. Let's try that again. So we've got the build board that you can see there, and there. I've appeared in the corner. So you know, I can appear and do some explanation face to face, but also you can see in the main screen what's happening on the build board, which is excellent. Or we can switch that around and have a small build board, and I can do some explaining up front, and I can pick stuff up and show it to you, and we've got all that great stuff there. And also we're able to do the intros and the outros, the bookends for it as well. So the bit that you saw at the beginning with the blue screen and the logo, etc., that's just a scene. So I can. There we go. Amazing stuff. So hopefully we can use this as a tool. I mean, I'm sitting at my desk that I do work at. We've got a bit of lighting coming down here, but that's on a tripod, easy to set up. The phone's on a tripod as well, once again, really easy to set up. And so hopefully we'll be able to produce a lot more in the way of videos. It may look weird because I'm actually looking rather than straight at the camera, which is I always find very, very daunting. I'm actually looking at the image of myself on screen, which some might say would be even more daunting, but I've lived with it my whole life. Okay, gravity's taken effect, etc., but I find that easier to look at than down the eye of the lens. But hey ho. Right. So that's most of the news that we have at the moment. But interestingly, over the last month or so, we've actually received a few bits of mail that I thought would be interesting for you guys to see. They certainly interested me. We had a chap, Horace Darlington from Wakefield, I believe, get in contact with us, and he's an octogenarian engineer who actually worked on, was lead engineer, I believe, on the Sopwith Camel replica that's held at the Shuttleworth collection, and he wondered whether we could actually produce, excuse me, itchy nose, we could actually produce the livery that they produced for the Shuttleworth collection in one of our Sopwith kits. And I said to him, well, if you can send me some images and pictures so I know what I'm looking at, and then maybe I can actually go to our fantastic customers and propose that we put this kit together. And if we could get, say, 10 people to actually purchase a kit, then or commit to purchasing a kit, then it's quite possible that we could do that. Now, Horace actually, he flies indoors, radio control, so it would be a product that he could actually build and fly as well. So he then sent through in the post, as requested, some information. So here we go. So yeah, let me show you. So this is part of the Northern Aeroplane Workshop that actually built the Sopwith Camel. They also did a Sopwith triplane for the Shuttleworth collection, and they also produced the Bristol, the M1, the single-winged bullet-shaped aircraft. But as you can see there's a nice shot of the roundel on the wing, unattached at the moment. Some more detailed images there. There it is at shuttle. Excuse the text being around the wrong, and you can see Microaces in the back is around the wrong way as well. It makes it easier for me if when I'm looking at myself I'm round the right way, then I'm not putting my hand right and it goes left. That's confusing for me. Not when I'm flying, but when I'm gesticulating in front of the camera, it obviously doesn't translate. So anyway, so it's called Iconopit, a play on words, obviously, and it's a replica of an aircraft that actually did exist during the First World War. I'll get more information on that, but if you want to see or purchase this particular aircraft or this type of livery, get in contact. Send me an email, John Porter, JONPORTER at microaces.com, and say, yeah, put me down for one. And if we get 10 or more, then we'll put it into production. And we'll do it as a short run special edition, and we'll get a lot more of the history on it, find out a little more about it, and maybe we could even present the prototype that I'll build to Horace, or the Shuttleworth collection, or both, and go from there. So do get in contact, and we'll see if we get enough interest to push that one forward. The other parcel I received, which was not requested, and it was a complete surprise, and a really nice surprise as well, was from Tim Mangan in San Francisco. Tim had purchased, I think he bought a Bristol from us, and we had a short discussion on email about the Felixstowe. He really liked the idea of that. I think a lot of people do, and I thought that was that. I said, obviously it's something we'd love to do, but it's going on the back burner because it would take so much time, to effort and energy. And I said one of the big stumbling blocks for me was getting the motors, the engines, those two Eagle engines, designed so that they could be made as a kit. And from the reference material I had, etc., it was still quite difficult. Anyway, I think it was probably about 2 weeks ago. This parcel arrives from San Francisco with all of the custom stuff on, etc., etc. And in here, intriguingly, there was a little well-packaged box. And let's switch. There we go. Woo! How about that? You can watch me unbox it and I don't have to hold it up to the camera. So what did we get in the box? Well, these I have many of, but I do not have this. The WinSock data file for the Felixstowe, which has an enormous amount of detail and plenty of images of the aircraft. We've got, sorry, that's a bit washed out there, but that's actually probably, there we go. You can see some fantastic drawings of the aircraft and all sorts of information, which is for me and probably many of you a thoroughly good read, which is fantastic. Really grateful for that. So thanks ever so much to Tim for that. But also, here we have some plastics, and this is what Tim Tim wrote, obviously there's a letter too. He says, "Hi John," and then in inverted commas, John wrote, "Think I've already put several days into that Felixstowe. The twin Rolls-Royce Eagles really had me scratching my head. I think that was the back-off point. I'm studying some card modelling techniques to try and get my head around it all." And so on that note, Tim says, "Given your words and thoughts to me on the Felixstowe and its Rolls-Royce engines, and it being on the back burner for development, thought I'd send you some future motivational material. You may already have the Winsock data file." No, I don't, so that's fantastic. "As part of your company's initial research. However, I did discover on the shutdown of Wingnut Wings Models site, which is extremely sad, a formerly available sprue of the Eagle engines. Was able to get this, so I thought I'd send it along with the magazine. Hope you and your family and the rest of your office had a great vacation and time off. Best regards, Tim." And here it is. Let's just... There it is. Haven't even opened it yet. If you haven't come across the Wingnut Wings models, they are the absolute best 1/32 scale models of World War I aircraft. It is very sad that they are no longer with us, but hopefully another company will be buying the molds, and this sort of quality will persist. So I can now make the engine up, study it, and work out what to do, how to actually kit it from a Microaces standpoint. So what it is, very, very inspirational material. I do think about the Felixstowe a lot. I think living very close to Poole Harbour, and Poole Harbour being a place where I'm not sure whether the Felixstowe flew from there, but I know that Sunderland's flew from there, and other flying boats flew from Poole Harbour, which is the second largest natural harbour in the world. So it would be, whenever I go walking the dog down by the sea, I always envisage the Felixstowe in the water there and taking her off into the air. So it's got to happen. I've got to do it. It's just finding the time. So so that's absolutely fantastic. Thanks ever so much for sending those things through. It's always an absolute treat and delight to get things like that. It doesn't happen that often, and so that's absolutely fantastic. So that's basically the roundup for now. The next step for me is to start building that silver SE5A that I've just completed the design for. Let's just, I've got it here somewhere, ready to build. Let's just bring this, there we go. Let's just get this organised before I show you. Right, let's switch to the build board. There we go. I'm going to have to sort out this brightness, aren't I? It's overblowing it, but that's why we're doing this, is to see how it goes. So there we've got, as I've said in a few Facebook posts about this, and I think on RC groups as well, there have been a few changes made to the SE5. The SE5 was one of the first models that I designed in this Microaces style, and so there have been a number of ideas that have filtered through, a number of developments that I've integrated into newer kits that haven't obviously gone to the older kits or been included in the older kits that we do. So so there are a few changes, and I'll go through the whole build as I build the prototype. So I'll do it in the same way as I'm doing here, much you can sort of see how it works now, although it's overblown. I'll get that sorted out. So we'll go through the build step by step. If they're being a prototype build, it's quite likely that I'll want to make a few more changes as we go, but they'll only be little tweaks, and I'll note them down on my pad rather than dragging you through the intricacies of Adobe Illustrator or Adobe Photoshop, etc., and all the other applications we use for producing these things. Right, you can have, there we go, back again. Yeah, so that's the next step for me. In fact, if I'm feeling up to it, I might crack on. So what I'm going to attempt to do with the build is to do an hour every day in this sort of format where I'm just talking and working through. There'll be no editing, no speeding up, no cutting bits out. It'll all be done absolutely live, so you can watch me make mistakes, take backward steps, get things wrong, get things right, and you can see it all. So I'll get cracking on that. Remember to look at the camera and not. I'll get cracking on that, and I'll leave you in peace now with all the Microaces news that I've imparted. I don't think there's anything else, so I will bid you adieu, and see you next time. Or see you in the SE5A build, and we'll see how many hours it takes. So see you later.